and we got disconnected. I sent a whole bunch of screenshots to Apple. He was going to escalate my case to engineering. I just want to confirm that you received the screenshots because I can't get a hold of Jay. I asked him to send me his email. I don't have an email for him. So confirm for me, please, that you have access to the notes he just took.
I see 42 screenshots uploaded.
Alrighty, good stuff. And you have access to his notes. Okay, hold on a second. Since I just spoke to Jay and we got disconnected, is it possible for Jay to continue the case? Because I already went through everything with him.
Hold on a second.
It was just a few minutes ago.
I'm seeing somebody named Tim from like 25 minutes ago.
25 minutes ago? Well, I spoke to him for more than an hour, I'm sure. Maybe it says 25 minutes.
That must just be when he saved his notes then. But it says Tim, says he's tier 2. Hold on. Said that he referred you over to apple.com/consultant.
Oh my God, you're talking about way back when. No, this is...
Oh, no. This is from July. Never mind. You're right. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find this other case. And 918.
I'll give you, it ends in 2736. That's the one I gave to him.
Hold on. Give me the whole case number.
1014 8409 2736.
Let me look that one up. Hold on, because I don't see that one attached to your profile here, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily. And this is the case that they escalated on?
This is the case that I just spoke to Jay about for a long time, and yeah, this is. I'm thinking this is a case number. 1 second, there was a I had to call. I connected via chat, and then they. 1 second.
I'm seeing Jason. There we go. 920. Okay, hold on a second.
Yes. So via chat, they gave me a new case number, but I told them this is the case that I want to use, the one in 2736. They gave me the one ending in 5518. I got that via chat. Online chat.
Yeah, there's a lot of notes here. Give me I'm going to put you on hold so I can read these. You don't have to hear me breathing. Give me 2 minutes, probably 3 minutes to read through these. I just want to kind of play catch up here real quick.
I tell you what, take your time, get caught up, but as long as you're looking at the correct notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from today. It says 43 screenshots have been attached to this. And it says Jason was the last guy you talked to at 3:57 p.m. So it would have been 10 minutes ago.
That's the guy, yes.
Yeah, here. Hold on 1 minute. I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be back, okay? My name's Austin, once again.
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a couple things. So Honestly, I'm telling you right now, I'm the highest level of support you can talk to on the phone. I wouldn't know, this bug type 151 or any of this stuff. But let me put it like this: you're getting the message on your lock screen saying that the screen is being monitored.
Right. It says specifically your screen is being observed, and Apple had put it. I went to the Apple store previously, and they put it in safe mode, and it was still saying your screen is being observed, and they
Well,
told, huh?
that is a result of having what they call an MDM profile on the device, a mobile device management profile.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I mean, do you know about this profile then?
Well, I live by myself. I should not have a management profile, and I'm looking at the logs right now. It says that I'm a managed client.
Well, I mean, and like I said, I can't really go through logs with you. Like that's just not anything we do over the phone. But real quick, let's do this. What's your Apple ID email? I'd like to share screens and see what I can see on your computer.
Yeah, sure. I use ARA. Let's do ARA because I don't sign in with my Apple ID.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Let's do ARA. Okay, here we go.
And yeah, I'll give you a session key here in a second when my program loads up. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Just give me a moment. I'm getting there.
Take your time.
Got it. Session key?
Okay, it's 7736192.
Got it.
There we go.
So you should have notes from the Apple Store today. I went to the Apple Store today to let them know what is happening. Anyways, look, you're coming on soon, so we'll do it. So while you're
Well, I want to talk about it. I do want to talk about it. So let me
okay.
ask you this. So when did you take it in and they supposedly did the erase and reinstall? When was that?
Oh, you're not with me. Is okay. There you are. Okay, I have all the documentation for you. We'll come back to this. It says 4 hour 8 minutes, and this does not add up. It's not congruent. See that?
I mean, this is only showing you these categories because these categories were the only ones that were captured.
All right.
So, like, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get a full usage, like, pattern until at least 24, 48 hours in. So, I mean, did you just set it up today?
Nope, yesterday. So let me go back to the question you asked me. So I took it in for repair, right? Yes, on Saturday. It is Monday. 2 days ago. 3 days ago, right? 3 days ago.
Okay.
On Saturday.
Okay, so you picked it up on Saturday?
Picked it up at about 7 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
So.
And customer request hard drive erase and reinstall macOS 11. Yeah, did they not tell you what this is at the store, though? Like this message on your lock screen? Like I said, that's like expected behavior. That's not like an error or anything. But if you don't have a profile that you know you installed, that's different. So here, go ahead, close this, and then go up to your Apple. So this isn't like a work computer or like a school computer. This is like your personal computer that nobody else owns.
It's my personal computer. I know that I'm an MDM client. One second. I'm diverting a little bit. I'm going to go back there. I know, not here. Just took the screenshot. I know that I'm a managed client. It says so in the logs. I'm a managed client. I get it. But I live by myself. This is not a work computer. It's a private personal computer. So
okay,
go ahead and ask me.
Come up here to your Apple.
Got it.
And go to System Preferences.
I'll open it from bottom. There you go.
And then hit the back button. Oh, right there. And it says there's no profiles installed. We would have an option right here that said profiles, basically, and it's like a star with like I don't know how to describe it, but it's not there. So yeah, I mean, there's no profiles currently on the computer.
Right. So why am I a managed client?
I mean, are you talking about those com.apple files?
Well, why does it say that I'm a managed client?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is most likely just a system file. Where did you find these at?
Console.
I can see if I have them on my computer, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's on console. Just taken a few minutes ago. It's 4:13 now. It's taken about 4:07.
Okay, but I mean, you don't know where these files are on your computer, though.
Well, let me show you what my story is. Okay, I had spoken to Apple before. When Apple told me to go to the Apple Store, Apple Online told me to go to the Apple Store because it appears that my computer is under a management system without consent. Because I live by myself, it's not a work computer. So
Absolutely.
they took the Mac, they put it in safe mode, and it still said your screen is being observed. There's a screenshot of that. Okay, they have a screenshot of that says safe mode, and it said your screen is being observed. Okay, so finally I went to the Apple Store for 3 specific reasons. There's a ton of things happening, but I was specific to 3 things. 1, your screen is being observed, right, when it shouldn't be, because I should not be under management system. 2, bug type 115 and a whole bunch of other bugs. 3, data is constantly moving in and out of my Mac when I turn Wi-Fi off. Okay, for example, Wi-Fi is turned off, data moving, it says 4 and 4, but up here in activity monitor it says 460 and 460. Got it?
Okay.
Good. That's what happened pre-wipe and post-wipe. This exact same thing happened. So let me give you the essential of what happened. I took it in for repair. They told me, they sent me an email the same day, September the 18th at 3:41 p.m. Okay? Telling me my computer is ready for pickup. Okay?
Okay.
Remember that time, 3:41 p.m. They had my Mac. I picked it up at around 7 p.m. So, let me show you this screenshot maybe. On the 18th, they had my computer. At 3:25 p.m., at 3:15 p.m., when they still had my computer, remember, hold on, pickup was at 3:41. At 3:15 and 3:25, there's bug type 151, 115, and 151. 115 actually was already on the computer. Here, 4 times. I should have that. Also, bug type 151 was there. It showed up at 9 p.m. But hold on a second, I have it. Right, bug type 151. Where is it? Bug type 1.
Okay,
Here.
so, I mean, do we know what this bug type 151 is?
I don't know what bug type 115 or 151. I searched 151. I searched it. It told me that it's a hardware issue, and I should not do anything. I should return the device to Apple, and Apple will. That's it. Return the device to Apple. 115. Return it to Apple. It's a hardware issue.
Okay, so you took it back to the Apple Store today.
Well, okay. So you understand? Before they gave me the computer, it already had a bug in it. 4 times. 115.
Oh, man, real quick. It's not that it has a bug in it. It's more along the lines of a diagnostic that failed. So, I mean, realistically, these aren't... I don't think that this is like something that was like, malicious or anything added from outside. I feel like this is just some kind of error that the diagnostics ran into when running diagnostics on your computer. So, yes, I would agree that most likely it is some kind of hardware error. But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you took it back in the Apple Store and showed them this, what did they say?
Right. So here's what happened. So I went to the Apple Store this morning to show them exactly what happened. And they said to me, I spoke to the manager, you have notes on it. Because I asked her for her notes and she said she will not give it to me. I can't get it. It's internal. So here's what she said. There's nothing we can do. We did all we could do for you, and there's nothing else we can do. Go online and speak to Apple. You should have the notes. It's from today.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on. See the. There we go. Apple Store. Okay, so now we're in kind of a loop because the person that you were just talking with, this Jason person, had in his notes that you didn't want to do capture data.
No, I said I don't want to do capture data. Yes, because she said I asked her what's the fix, right? And because I had already spoken to you guys online, and you guys had told me the fix is just wipe the darn computer and start from fresh. That's the fix, right? So I asked her
I mean,
what's
that's exactly what I would say, yeah.
right. And listen, I understand it. That's why I can repeat it to you. So I asked her, what's the fix? She said she doesn't know, that I should talk to you guys and you would recommend, she recommends that I run capture data. But I said, that's not the fix. What's the fix? The fix, everybody tells me, wipe it, start from fresh, right? That's exactly what I did. And I had the Apple Store, the professionals do it, not me doing it. They did it. Okay? And all the problems returned.
I mean, let me be clear. Are you still seeing the Mac is being observed on your lock screen?
Right here. So this was on the 18th, repair was on the 18th.
No, man. I'm talking about like right now. Like if you locked your computer, like if you I can't see it if you lock your computer. You know what I mean? So like basically, that's what I'm asking. If you went to your lock screen right now, like if you went up to your Apple and said lock, and it went out to your lock screen, does it say your Mac is being observed?
Yes, and it happened when I was speaking to Jason.
And where did you buy the computer from?
You guys sent it to me.
Yeah, so I mean, if you bought the computer, you don't use it for work purposes. Like, you don't use it in that capacity at your job where they would have installed any kind of NVM profile, right?
Right.
And I mean, granted, there's no profiles installed in system preferences. Like, before you had them wipe it, did it have a profile in system preferences?
Not that I was aware of. But no, wait, listen. Not that I was, doesn't mean it wasn't there, but I wasn't aware, it wasn't from me.
I mean, nobody had you go in and check system preferences to see if a profile was installed?
I don't think so, but I know I remember a while back. You know what? Hold on. I remember a while back somebody had asked about checking profile, and there was no profile, right? But I was still getting the same. Your screen is being observed, which is fully documented. And not only that, let me go one more above that. I went to the Apple Store, took the time, went to the Apple Store. They put it on safe mode to test if I was seeing the same thing. And I was seeing the same thing. They took a screenshot of it. And what they wanted me to do was to wipe the computer. Because they couldn't understand why it was saying your screen is being observed when I have no profile and when it was not Wi-Fi connected. It was turned off.
Yeah, because, like, for example, this was something that they added, I want to say in 10.15.5 or 10.15.6, because, like, I have two iMacs here. I have my 27-inch 5K 2019 that's running Big Sur, because that's, like, my main Mac work machine now. Then I have my 27-inch, just regular 27-inch from 20, I think 14, and it can only update to Catalina 10.15. And every morning when I come in here, because I'll bring up both computers, like I'll log into both, and then I'll run Safari on one and all my other work stuff on my other one just to be efficient. And I'm telling you, every morning when I come in here and I look at my Catalina machine, it says your Mac is being observed, but it's because I have a work profile
Right.
installed from Apple. That that's why I see that. I'm trying to see if there's like any bugs going on right now where you would just see it. Because I'm telling you, let me be very clear. if you don't want to capture data, I get that. You know what I mean? Like I totally do, because I mean our people would see just a lot of different aspects of your computer. None of your personal information, mind you, but basically, yeah. I mean, we would be able to see data technically that came from your computer, and I mean privacy concerns and all that. I totally get that, but it's like if they erased it and you didn't restore from Time Machine, right? Like you set it up as a brand new Mac, or did you restore from Time Machine?
Brand new Mac. Guess what? I recorded. Hold on, hold on. Let me show you. This one. I recorded all of it. These are my screenshots from setting up the machine. Let me show you. Right here. As I was setting it up, I took screenshots. Right? Canada on Sunday. Right? They wiped it on Saturday. So I took screenshots of the entire setup. Right? Accessibility, all on Sunday. Okay? And then the first thing I did, okay, when I took screenshot, and the moment the desktop came on, I started recording. Okay? Started recording. Not only that, first thing the Mac did, it will not charge. See there? Hold on, let me open this up. Right there, it would not hold a charge. Then suddenly it started holding a charge. But I recorded for 5 hours. I documented that I turned this off. Go ahead.
Hold on. What do you mean by it wouldn't hold a charge? I mean, it's just indicating that it's plugged into power right there.
All right, let me play it.
Yeah,
Battery's not charging. Battery's not charging.
Okay.
I told you, I documented all of it, my friend. Okay, then I showed exactly what I did, just in case you guys would come back to me and said you must have done something, you must have plugged something in or whatever. I documented all of it to show what's happening on the Mac. So let me give you a brief overview here. So again, documented all of it. You've seen that I have bug type 115 and 151. Okay. Data is constantly moving in and out of the Mac. Did I show you this one?
Hold on, one second. I'm trying to look at these bug types. Hold on. 115.
Okay. 115 and 151. So 115 while it was with Apple at the Apple Store.
Only thing I'm finding about bug type 151 and 115 are both showing iPhone stuff.
Yeah, but it's similar bug. And it says it's a bug for iPad. Mine says iPad. On iPhone.
I mean, yeah, like, realistically, let me ask you this, because this is what it's going to boil down to.
He'll be back.
Is there anything that you haven't been able to do? Like, Bluetooth stuff or installing programs?
Well, thank you for asking. I have no control. Things are disappearing in front of my eyes. Things change constantly. My settings are constantly changed. I have zero control of the Mac. The Mac is in use when I didn't use it. Okay, and on and on and on. Hence the reason why I document so much.
So I guess, let me ask you this. What's your overall, expectation or goal here? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Wow. Okay. What am I trying to accomplish? I'm hoping...
I don't mean that in a bad way. I just want to be able to set proper expectations with you, because realistically, I'm telling you right now, if the Apple Store is saying that they ran all diagnostics, that they erased, reinstalled, and you're showing me that you set it up as a brand new machine, I mean, I'm not seeing anything that would be outside the realm of possibility. Like, as far as, the data coming in and out when you're not on Wi-Fi, I'm telling you right now, that's your network card, just like it was bytes that was transmitted. It wasn't even kilobytes, you know what I mean? So
it's what? Sorry.
It's like...
Explain this. Let's look at the screenshot and tell me why. Explain what's happening. Because right now, I have, in this recording, I have Wi-Fi is turned off. So explain to me why data is always moving and why it's just 460 here and 4 here. Why is that?
Yeah, here. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm trying to get my computer offline so I can do the same thing. Hold
Okay.
on. Turn Wi-Fi off. I don't think I have Ethernet plugged in, but hold on. Oh, I do. Hold on. Okay. So I am air gapped on my Mac right now, my iMac, my other iMac, and let's go activity monitor. And granted, I can't show you my Mac, but hold on a second. I just want to see if it's doing the same thing. Network.
Listen, just to give you a shortcut, I already documented you guys saying that when I turn Wi-Fi off, when my computer is not looking for a network connection, when I have no connection, data should not be moving in and out of my computer.
Oh, well, it can't be. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to tell you is that legitimately, it's not that it's moving out of your computer, but it's like right now, it just did it again. So like right here, it just says data received seconds, 241 bytes, data sent seconds, 241 bytes. Now it says 80 bytes. But basically, the reason that this is happening is that the network card is still in there processing electricity. These readings are coming off of, based off of how much electricity I believe that the card is producing at any given time. So like right now, I have no Wi-Fi on. I have my Ethernet unplugged. Like this is an air gap machine. And if I sit here and watch it long enough in my, activity monitor network, and I go in and I look to see if any data is being sent or received, it does show me that things are being sent or received. So like as an example now, I can scroll through here and I can see what's sent. So this is Identity Services D and System UI Server, 64 bytes. So Identity Services D sent 5 kilobytes, received 7, and System UI Server, 64 bytes. I didn't open up Activity Monitor until I completely air gap. So it's like, if I sit here and watch it long enough, for most of the time it says data being sent, received to 0 bytes. But I can see little spikes on the packet history there, like the little line graph, because it is bursting something. It says it's being sent and received, but honestly, if I'm not mistaken, which there are definitely times where I've been wrong in the past, your network card, because it has electricity coming through it, it can sometimes produce readings for things like Activity Monitor or other, networking monitoring software that you would have on your computer. But it should just be fragments of like bytes are the smallest form of data that you can have on your computer. So it's like, for me to see that I've sent 64 bytes to this System UI server and 5 kilobytes to this Identity Services D, that's like nothing. Nothing at all. So it even says I've received 24 packets from that, sent 20, but I'm not doing anything to do that, okay? So realistically, the data being sent back and forth, I don't see that that's anything that would be like a real concern, even under the circumstances. I know it's hard to just take me for my word at that, so I'm trying to do my best to explain it. But yeah, legitimately, that wouldn't concern me in like a I don't want to say a paranoia way, but it just wouldn't concern me if knowing what I know about how computers work and how this information's read and all that. It's not always 100% accurate. It's kind of like your battery percentage in the simplest way possible. When you look at your battery percentage on your Mac or on your iPhone, that is a chemical calculation based off of how much charge it's reading from the battery at any given time. But that's why sometimes you'll see sudden drops in your battery percentage is because it recalculated and now you've lost a lot more charge since the last time it did the reading, and so it goes from 57 to 53 real quick, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. So nothing's ever like a 100% accurate in terms of your activity monitor stuff. It's definitely like there's a number of factors there, a number of variables, but essentially that's not what I would be worried about. I'm more worried about your screen being observed thing, because it's like you erase the computer, you set it up as brand new, you're on the latest version of the software, and I mean, to my knowledge, there's no MDM profile installed. Like, I have worked here for 7 years as of 6 days ago, and basically I've been a senior advisor with Apple for about 5.5 years now. I handle every product that we sell. I see a lot of crazy things at times, but it's like I have never seen a profile be installed on the computer that we could not see in system preferences. So like, basically what I mean by that is if there is a mobile device management profile installed, we would be able to go into your Apple system preferences, we would see the profile section, and it would be there. Even if we can't remove it because it requires it to be removed from whoever's managing, like whatever administrator's computer is managing all the computers under, this profile, sometimes profiles have to be removed on their end before you can delete them, but it's like we would still see it in system preferences. And also, I mean, this is another... profiles aren't something that just kind of came about. Like, profiles are something that we write into Mac OS and iOS and iPad OS. And the reason for this is for enterprise and education. So businesses and, educators, like schools and colleges, like if they give you a Mac or if they give you an iPad, they can manage what settings and whatnot can be changed on that device and lock out certain settings and, all kinds of things. It's meant to be like that. Like, it was introduced a long time ago into iOS, and then it came from Mac OS and blah, 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 blah. Profiles, if somebody did have a profile installed, it would be removed when you do the erase. So when you do the erase, it completely wipes out any settings, any data, anything that's on the computer. Nothing
All right.
survives an erase and disk utility.
Okay, pause. Then pause now, okay? You're saying everything would be erased, right?
Absolutely.
Hold that thought. Everything would be erased. Then we by the way, hang on a second. You got where is profile supposed to be here, right? Or under
Well,
P?
yeah, depending on how your system preferences are
Good.
set up, it might be on the third row.
All right.
But yeah, it would be right here in this slot.
Right. So I have no profile here, no profile, but yet my computer log tells me I'm a managed client.
No, I mean, I can go in the console and I can see managed client on mine too. Now, granted, I do have a profile installed on this computer, but like managed client is it's a process type that I see all the time. Like I'm constantly in and out of activity monitor. Like right now, hold on a second. Let me look in here.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying, let me see if you correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying that I'm not a managed client, or I am a managed client. Hold on.
I'm saying that managed client isn't necessarily meaning what you are assuming it's meaning. Like,
no, it's English.
You're being managed.
Hold on, it's clear English. Managed client, and it says MDM client. Hold on, it's clear. Apple tells me it's clear, and so I checked MDM client. I checked it, and it's a management profile. Mobile device management. It's a management thing. I can check it right now. It's a management system.
No. You don't see MDM anywhere in here. Like, there's nothing here that says MDM. And this is a Apple file.
No, MDM client. MDM client.
Okay, so these right here, also com.apple. And this also says missing right here. So it's like it was trying to run something that it couldn't find, and therefore tried it again and couldn't find it again. That's successful right there, but I mean, it still says missing. So I mean, this is inconclusive and not anything that I would say is like if you don't see profiles in system preferences, there's nothing that you. Like, you're not being managed in any way. Like, we should be able to change settings.
Well,
we should be able to do whatever we want on this computer.
Well, my friend, I understand that you're highly trained, but I will disagree with you. Let me show you why. Okay, because since unboxing and not unboxing, since I picked up the Mac from the store and I totally recorded everything, it immediately told me that my screen is being observed, right? One of the reasons that I asked them to fix the Mac, and it's there. I also, you told me data is, it's not really a big issue, but it was one of the things that they were going to look into to fix. Okay, and the third one they were going to go look into to fix was darn, what's the third one? Uh, Bug type, right? Bug type 115, and I was told 151, 151. It will not happen again, they told me. Those three things, your screen is being observed, data moving, and bug types, bugs will not show up. Yet, it showed up while the Mac told me while it was at the Apple Store, shows the bug type. On the 18th, I unboxed on the 19th. Okay, so let's focus on the things that you believe in, right? What you identify as a problem. Because one more thing, hold on, one more thing. So I know I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I want to show you this and then you can continue, okay? So I took screenshots, I'm sending it to myself. All the data is going to Safari networking. I searched Safari networking. It tells me I have a networked computer. My computer is networked, okay? So I'm going to finish this. It tells me in console that I'm a managed client. Okay, I went through this
Ma'am,
with you.
You're reading. I'm telling you right now, like
Mm-hmm.
tom.apple.anything is not malicious in any
Maybe.
way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Like
How about this one?
they can't be. You can't save a com.apple.whatever file
Mm-hmm.
in the library, in your user library or in your system library, because the operating system would automatically reject files that it doesn't have in its checklist already. Like,
All right.
there's so many different things that you're saying here that are assumptions that aren't based off of anything that would be of concern. Like,
All right.
a com.apple.managed client is, I mean, seriously, there's so many different com.apple.whatever files on your computer that you would never, ever need to understand what it does, but it's needed there to run Mac OS. You see what I mean? And somebody, here at Apple could probably tell you what it is and what it does.
Okay.
But, I mean, I can't get you over to that person. Like,
All right.
that stuff is I mean, yeah, that's like kind of almost
All
like
right.
intellectual property. But
All
either
right.
way, it's something that there's still nothing that you're showing me that is like causing.
Okay.
And trust me, I'm thorough. Like, I promise you, that's why I'm entertaining what you're saying, and I want to, definitely be thorough about it. But I still am not seeing anything that would indicate that there's something to be concerned about right now.
Well, I appreciate that you're entertaining what I'm saying. I am just going by the logs that Apple is showing me. It tells me manage client. In activity monitor, it says manage client. Hold on. Hold on. No, I'm going to finish this. Just let me finish this thought. So as I told you, I set up on the 19th. Okay, that's on Sunday. Set up on the 19th. Any idea why my computer? Let me open this up for you. And this is all on the 18th. I set up on the 19th. It says client entitled for destructive operations. Any idea why? And it happened at midnight on the 18th. What?
Ask me, well, this is your question, something about this?
Yes. So I set up the Mac on the 19th, which was Sunday. And on the 18th at midnight at 12:15, it says client entitled for destructive operations. What's your thought on that?
I mean, they didn't email you till what, 3:41 or something?
They emailed me on the 18th at 3:41. I did not set up until the next day, Sunday. But this is at midnight. I'm not using the Mac at midnight. Mac is just sitting there.
Okay. I got you. So they emailed you on the 17th?
No, my friend. I sent it in on the 18th.
But hold on. So you got these logs after you set up the computer, after you picked it up, at whatever time later on in the night, on the 18th going into the 19th.
All right. So I picked it up at 7 p.m. on the 18th. Okay? I didn't do anything with it. When I opened it up was on the 19th, as per here, on the 19th. Okay? Was
And
when
it took you right to the like the setup screen.
yes, like where it says choose your country, choose your language, choose everything, right? That's why I took a
Okay,
screenshot.
so you're asking why these logs would have been doing stuff in the middle of the night?
Right, but I didn't set up the computer at all.
I mean, honestly, this log right here, I couldn't tell you what this is at all, like realistically. But at the same time, when your Mac first turns on, until it connects to the internet, it's very much not like it doesn't always know the correct date and time. So I'm wondering if maybe that had something to do with it until it got connected to the internet. Like this is some log for like right when you first turn on the computer and start up the setup assistant. But at the same time, like I said, even with this, I can't explain. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like nobody here on the phones can explain these logs to you because
That's
this
okay.
is just not something.
No.
Like if the computer is passing diagnostic and it's on the latest version of the software and no profiles are installed, there's not really much else I could do. If you want me to, I can send you a box and have you send it into our repair center, where they would basically pull the firmware off the computer completely. They'd wipe out everything on the drive, and then they would do a fresh install. I mean, because basically when you just go in and say erase and reinstall, there's like the way that solid state drives work is there's still going to technically be data like in the drive that's like being overwritten the next time that somebody comes across that. Yeah, it's see how SSD drives work on YouTube or something later. But basically, what I'm getting at is that when they erase it like that in the store, they don't pull the firmware off the computer. They basically go through the normal process of going into macOS recovery, which is a partition of information on your hard drive at all times, even if you erase the main macOS partition that has the operating system installed. That macOS recovery partition is always there, and they're basically restoring from there. If I send it to the repair center, they'll run diagnostics, and if it passes diagnostic, they will pull all the firmware, all the software off the machine altogether, even the recovery partition. They'll reinstall everything, then they'll run diagnostics again to make sure that everything's good, and then they can send it back. But I'm telling you, if they send it back and they say that it passed diagnostic and they pulled all the software off, all the firmware off, they reinstall everything, I mean, that is all that we would be able to do in this situation. Like, there's no... trust me, I see profiles, I'd say once a day sometimes. Like, that people are like, I have no idea what this is, help me get rid of it. Like,
Okay,
I have
hold
no
on.
idea what it is.
How do you know? Okay, so is it in their notes whether they pull the firmware or not?
I mean, I know for a fact that they would have. They would have had to have done the manual. Like, if they couldn't just do a macOS recovery and then erase a disk utility, close disk utility, and then hit reinstall macOS, they would, and it past diagnostic especially, they would have to package it up and send it to the repair center, and the repair center would then pull all the firmware off and go that route. So
All
it's
right.
like, yeah, there wouldn't be anything that says that because they wouldn't have done that.
So you're telling me the repair center would do more of a cleaner wipe than the Apple Store would do?
Like, technically speaking, yes, but I want to make it very clear, based off of everything that I've seen, and trust me, I totally applaud you on this for going through and documenting all this, because when you ask these questions, it's sometimes you need that answer to know that everything's cool. And with privacy the way it is today and all that, like I totally get why you're asking all these questions.
Well,
But I know that you've had other people tell you either misleading information or you've just read things online that are kind of, making your assumptions, more dangerous in your mind. Like there's something more nefarious.
I'm going to ask you to pause here for a moment. So, no, I'm not making it dangerous. I'm looking at the logs, then I search it to see, to understand it. But let me quickly go through a couple of things for you, okay? And then maybe it'll give you a better picture, okay? And then we're going to go back to that firmware and the repair center. So here's the thing. So I told you I documented for 5 hours when I opened the computer, okay, when I set it up. So for 5 hours I documented, and here's what I documented. There's the 5 hours, okay? Wi-Fi is turned off, and I have connection via IPv6. Not Wi-Fi, but via IPv6 That's not me. I did not do that, but my computer is connected via IPv6, and I think there's 8 or 9 of them. Okay, and I know that should not happen. I have a whole bunch of interfaces. Again, no visible network, and data is always moving in and out of the Mac. What else was there? My Mac is sending and receiving information from this host using an unknown and unsupported protocol. Okay, it's all there. It prevents sleep. That's on the 18th. I set up on the 19th. Preventing machine sleep. All right, and I've got a whole sharing D is constant, and it says unknown. No,
I know sharing D by heart, and it is an Apple. It's a Mac OS process. Like,
right.
It's not anything that I can tell you what it does.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah.
So
now, granted.
What I did not. Oh, hold. I did not connect to Wi-Fi. I have unknown processes, and there's umpteen sender, machine, UUID. Many of them. Again, 5 hours of recording. Many sender, machine.
Man, what you don't understand though is that some processes come back as unknown.
Got it.
Because they're like, I mean, that's in all this is expected behavior. Like,
okay,
everything
last one.
I've seen before.
Last one. During my 5 hours of recording, it tells me disk manager, there are 10 clients, 10 found. Current disk management, 10 clients. And the session UUID has been X'd out. So you see nothing wrong with that, yeah? Now pre-wipe, it told me there were 12 clients. 12 were found. Pre-wipe, already documented it, recorded it. Post-wipe, it tells me there are 10 clients found when I did not connect to a network. At all. Now, number one is this thing here. This is the one that you say should not happen. So let's focus. Let's ignore everything else and focus on why my Mac is telling me my screen is being observed.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. I know that this is something that would only happen if, for whatever reason, and actually, I mean, did you screen share with the person when you took this screenshot? Like, was it today?
So like I said, this is unboxing. No, not unboxing.
Oh, this was yesterday.
No. This is yesterday when I set it up. Today is the first day that I screen share after I came back from the Apple Store.
So, like, right now, though, if you went to the lock screen, it would tell you your screen is being observed still?
Yes, because I took a screenshot while you were talking. Screensaver came on at 4:22. It's 4:51 now. While you were talking, it says your screen is being observed while I'm talking to you. That is why I'm not sending capture data, because my screen is being observed. My screen, I do not, someone else has access to my screen. What I send is not what you are receiving. I've been through this a million times. I'm not doing it again. So here's what Jason decided. Okay, I've explained the whole thing to him. Here's what he said. I'm to send screenshots, which you already have, and he was going to send that to engineering to find out why my Mac is doing what it's doing when I did everything that you guys told me to do, which is...
Here, come up here to your Apple.
What?
Come up to your Apple.
Okay.
And go to System Preferences. Go to Security and Privacy. Go to Privacy. Or actually, yeah, go to Privacy. Okay, yeah, here we go. Now scroll down.
That's the top.
That's the top. Yeah, scroll down the other way. Go to Screen Recording. And I mean, right now, Remote Advisor's in there because that's the program. That's what we're using for ARA. Basically, from what I'm reading here, other people have experienced this too, and then they go into this section right here, and there would be something listed in there as having access to screen recording. basically the reason you see that message on your login screen is so that something can't just be recording or viewing your screen if you don't know about it. You know what I mean? But you'd have to come in here to find out what it was. Essentially, it was my display link. Do you have any adapters plugged in for monitors or anything?
I have nothing plugged in, no transfer of information. I'm anal about security, as you can tell. No transfer of information, no sharing, no airdrop, no, you name it, nothing.
What were you telling me about earlier when you said that things were just disappearing?
Yes. I'm saying my settings constantly change. Things are constantly disappearing from my computer. The Mac is in use when I'm not using the Mac. I would come home and I'll open the Mac and hold on. Screensaver came on right now. Hold on. I'm going to take a screenshot of it. Screensaver just came on.
I mean, let me be clear though. Right now, we would have to end screen sharing, and I'd have to have you remove that remote advisor from your screen recording, the security privacy preferences, and then we would have to go out to your lock screen again, and I would almost guarantee that message is gone.
Yeah, you know what? You're correct. Okay, hold this thought now. You're correct. When I'm screen sharing, it should say your screen is being observed because my screen is being observed. Absolutely, right? I agree. However, I showed you a screenshot that I'm setting up my computer, no visible network. I couldn't be screen sharing with anybody if I have no visible network, but it says your screen is being observed.
Yeah, but it's not saying that. And like right now, I'm on the lock screen of my Mac, and it says your screen is being observed, but I'm not connected to Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and it's because I have a profile installed on my computer. But during the setup assistant, like if this was like before the computer was even set up, I'd have to go back and erase my computer and see if this is something I could replicate on during the setup assistant. But either way, bottom line is that I can't spend any more time on this because
that's fine.
Like I said, the computer has been erased, reinstalled, and I'm not seeing anything that's like outside of what would be expected normal behavior. If you want me to, I can definitely send you a box, and I can have them send it into the repair center, have them do a deeper diagnostic, a hardware diagnostic, and basically, like I said, if they can't find anything on diagnostics, they will completely wipe the machine, take it back to factory settings, in a different manner than what the Apple Store would. They don't use recovery at the repair center. And basically, yeah, I mean, we could definitely go that route, and that way we know we pulled all the software off of it, and then it's passing diagnostic. But, I mean, I'm just trying to set the expectation that's as deep as we could take it. Like, if you wanted to pursue this further, I mean, there are, like, third-party digital security consultants that you can consult and have them take a look at your machine and your files and have them do a deep dive. But, I mean, that's going to cost money, and I can't really refer you to anybody because, I mean, that would be somebody local in your area. Hopefully you would have to drive too far to take it somewhere. But, I mean, yeah, the computer is passing diagnostic. I can see the diagnostic results from the Apple Store. I'm seeing all the notes from the Apple Store about, like what they did and that they couldn't replicate the issue. They were unable to reproduce any hardware issues. Diagnostics passed, and the operating system was reinstalled. And, yeah, so it says here to contact us and set up data capture. But even if I just want to be very clear, even if I capture data, there's not really, like they're going to tell me to have you send it in and have it wiped out the repair center, and then what's replicated after that.
Okay, no, look, hold on, stop. I hear what you're saying. You're telling me nothing you can do. The only option now is the repair center, correct? And listen.
Yeah, like that's realistically the only
other
avenue I can take this down.
That's fine. Got it. Okay, I got it. But you're also telling me let's focus on the 3 issue. The bugs. Here it is. Mac at 3:25 p.m. on the 18th. It was at the Apple Store with.
I'm not going to keep talking about this. Like I said, that's the only thing that I can offer you is I can send it into the repair center and have them wipe it out there and run diagnostics. But I'm
That's
not
okay.
going to waste
No,
any
no,
more of
no.
your time
Don't
talking about
waste
this
any more
because
time.
I
No, no,
don't know
no.
what these
No, no,
are.
no.
Like,
Wait,
I
wait.
mean, it's
No.
just not.
I want to summarize. I'm just summarizing. I'm just summarizing, okay?
Go ahead.
To summarize, you're telling me, based on what everything I've shown you, including the bugs, you're telling me nothing, you see no problem.
No, because the device is passing diagnostic, and we've already erased it and reinstalled macOS. I mean, no previous files would be here. I mean, here, I'll show you something else. Come up here to your Apple and go to System Preferences
Again?
and go to Network. So, like, the only way that you can connect to the internet is through Thunderbolt or like Ethernet, like a connection, an
No.
adapter with the Ethernet connection,
Listen.
or Wi-Fi. Okay?
Listen, I don't want to waste your time. I don't need an explanation for that. I am saying I went in for certain
Ma'am,
problems.
I'm going to end the call if I can't explain what I'm saying to you because I'm trying to point out that there's no internet connect. Like, we can check to see any internet connections that have connected to this computer. But, I mean, if you would like me to just end the call, I can end the call.
No,
It's
no,
up to you.
no, no, no. I just listen. No, I know you got to run, so I just want to be as fast. I'm doing what you're asking me to do, really, without directly saying it. You say you can't waste any more time on it. I got it. So I'm trying to narrow and summarize as quickly as I can. Okay? All I want to say is I went in for some issues, and the very same issues are happening uh, after I pick up the computer. And I'm showing them all of them to you, including IPv6, but you're telling me there is no problem, right?
Ma'am, do you know what IPv6 is?
Yes, because you guys,
What is IPv6? I just want to know what your explanation of IPv6 is.
yes, it's a connection. It's an underground network connection. It's not Wi-Fi, but it's another way of connecting to devices.
Not at all. No, not at all. Internet Protocol version 6 is the most recent version of the Internet Protocol, the communications protocol that provides an identification and location system for computers on networks and routes traffic across the Internet. IPv6 was developed by the Internet Engineering Task Force to deal with the long-anticipated problem of the IPv4 address exhaustion. Basically, this is the way that data is transmitted to and from your internet provider. It's not a secret connection outside of Wi-Fi or that's not a thing, man. IPv6 is how all data is routed from newer modems. This is why they had to have you update your modem about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
if not more recent than that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, yeah, this is IPv6 is a standard. It's not something that's it's not like no. There's no way to connect to the internet if Wi-Fi is turned off on your computer. Wi-Fi would show that it was on, or you'd have to have Ethernet plugged in. I mean, if Wi-Fi's off, Wi-Fi's off. Like,
Okay.
there's no incoming, outgoing connection from the
Okay.
computer at all.
So I'm going to tell you something and tell me if I'm correct. Maybe I'm incorrect. When I'm not connected to a network, like here, as I've shown you before, when I'm not connected to a network, like this is off, someone, your people, emailed me and said, when I'm not connected here, I should not see IPv4 and IPv6 connection. I should not, but you're telling me differently.
I mean, hold on a second. You shouldn't see them where? Where would you be looking for them? Because, like, right now, my computer is not connected to the internet. Tell me where to look, and I'll go look to see if I see any.
Right here, like I showed you before.
I mean, where did you pull that from? That's what I'm saying.
Netstat. Right there. It shows right there. And I have it documented. I have it in an email.
Ma'am, once again, where do I find this netstat.txt file on my computer?
Ah, okay. So pause. All right. So listen, if you don't know about it, that's fine. That's okay. I just want to know. I'm just telling you what you guys have told me. No, not told me. Emailed me and said it should not happen. But you're telling
Ma'am,
me.
I'm not going to lie. Depending on who you talk to, you're going to hear different things because people act like they know what they're talking about all the time here at Apple, unfortunately, and I have to correct people all the time. So, I mean, granted, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'm giving you a chance right now. Like, tell me where this netstat file is on my Mac, and I'll totally go in and see what I can see, if I can see IPv6 or whatever, you know. I don't know that that text file was generated after you disconnected from the internet, or if it was after you connected to Wi-Fi, which would be required during the setup of your computer. And therefore, if you see anything referencing IPv4 or IPv6 in like a text file like that, like a log file of some sort on your computer, it's impossible that you wouldn't see IPv4 or IPv6 because of connecting to the internet during the setup process. So it's like that still doesn't tell me that there's something going on here. Like I know that that's what you want to, like, I know that you want to kind of validate what you're
No,
seeing here,
no,
but I promise you,
no.
none of this is
Okay, you have
anything but
something
expected.
wrong. You have something wrong. You're correct in some ways. You're correct in some ways, but you have something incorrect. Um, when I set up my computer, and I took screenshots of it, of course, I took screenshots of it. Um, it asked me if I want to connect to a network, and I said no. Hold on, that's one. Yeah, when it says, I said continue, right? I did not choose a network. I said continue. I did not connect to a network. And let's see. Look, are you sure you don't want to set up a Wi-Fi? And I said continue. Okay, I did not set up Wi-Fi. Okay, that's why I took the
Okay,
screenshots so
fair
I can
enough.
show you
Yeah,
guys
fair enough.
what happened, right? And
Okay.
I did not connect to Wi-Fi, but it said IP. Anyways, look, I showed you everything I wanted to show you, and the exact same thing I showed to Jason when I was talking to him, and he had a different point of view from you. And in that, he had me send all those screenshots because he wanted to send them to engineering. But you were telling me differently from what he just told me just moments ago.
And what I'm telling you is that you said you didn't want to do data capture, and you said it at least 5 or 6 times on this phone call, and I'm not sending an escalation to engineering without data capture because they're going to require it if they want you to, if you want them to look into it any further. But like I also said, I am very confident that they're also going to go off of the fact that the computer was just erased and macOS was reinstalled, there's no profiles installed. I mean, they're going to look at all these factors, and I don't know how far they're going to take it before they just say, hey, if she thinks there's something on there, send it to the repair center, have them wipe it out completely, reinstall everything, send it back. I mean, that's what I'm trying to just jump to
No,
in
that's
the
fine.
situation, because I mean, even if we did that, and it came back and it was still, you were still seeing these bugs and bug type this, and as long as there was no like error somewhere, like you were getting like an actual pop-up and errors, because these logs aren't meant to be gone through by a consumer, because I mean 99.999% of consumers would have no idea what these logs are referring to, and a lot of these terms and the process names and all that they use in the background there, they're all used for very specific reasons, but they're all based off of running the operating system in the background. So I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of files that will be generated on your computer over time by just the operating system that, like, you and I wouldn't be able to just go into your logs and make sense of anything. Like, I mean, there's so many different situations that can occur from that. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, nothing good comes from going through logs, because even if you use your computer all day, had no errors pop up in your way, nothing stopped you from doing anything that you wanted to do or anything like that, if you went in and looked at your logs for the day, there would absolutely be errors. Like, there would absolutely be errors no matter what, because that's the nature of any operating system. No operating system is perfect. That's why they're constantly being updated. And it's something that errors will happen in the background, and then your computer is intelligent enough to just try that process again until it works because of this checkup or this check and balance during startup or whatever it might be. I mean, there's so many different instances of errors being nothing more than an inconvenience rather than something actually being wrong. And yeah, some errors are very inconclusive just because they're expected to a certain extent. So So yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you want me to, the best thing that I could possibly do to ease your mind in the situation would be to send it off to my repair center and have them just do a wipeout and completely reinstall everything, run diagnostics, send it back. And I mean, let me be very clear, this Mac hasn't even been out for a year yet. It looks like you bought yours in March, so I mean, you're only 6 months in. So I mean, realistically, if there was something wrong with it, like if there was some kind of hardware issue, they do run deeper diagnostics at the repair center. Like they definitely do. But it's because the diagnostics that they run at the Apple Store are, I mean, usually very conclusive. Like if something's wrong, they run diagnostics there 99,999 times out of 100,000, it's going to find the problem. The 1 in 100,000, they'd have to send off to the repair center if like they still couldn't, find anything wrong with it diagnostically, but they could replicate the issue. And in this instance, they couldn't even replicate any hardware issues. It did pass all diagnostics, and they erased and reinstalled. So it's like that's the extent of what we can do with it, because trust me, even if your perception is different to Apple, if the computer is passing diagnostic and it's running the latest version of the software and you're not getting some kind of error caused directly by first-party software, that's not something that we would be able to pursue further. Like we just can't. Like there's some things that we can't provide answers to.
Well, thank you for all of that. I appreciate it, and that has been my thought when the manager at the Apple Store said, "Listen, there's nothing else we can do. We did the fix, and that's it. There's nothing else." Okay, because the fix is wipe and reinstall, right? But you've given me one extra option. I have to say, Jason. No, I'm sorry, not Jason. I will take you up on your offer to go to the repair center. And I have to say to you as well, when I spoke to Jason, my conversation with him was quite different from what it is with you. He was much more inclined to send the screenshots, and he sent me a link to upload the screenshots so he can send it to engineering. And I did say to him as well, like I said to you, I will not run capture data, right? He had no problem with sending the screenshots to engineering, but you
Man,
do.
man,
But that's
I don't
okay.
know. I
Bottom
don't
line
know who
is, we're
Jason
going to go
is.
to repair center.
Ma'am, I'm just letting you know, I don't know who Jason is. Like I said, I've been here for 7 years, and I promise you, engineering is not like a magical department that we send information to and then they always provide an answer. I bet you in hundreds of escalations up to engineering that I've made over the years, maybe even thousands at this point, I have probably gotten back like an actual response directly pertaining to a customer's issue 3 or 4 times, if that. And even in
Really?
those instances, they definitely have never, like, if it's not something that's not expected, or if it's not, and I'm just telling you, it's not something that, like, we send all this info off and then they give us an answer concretely and specifically, rounded to your situation. A lot of times it's a generic answer where they tell us that we can provide you resources, whether it's disclaimers about certain things or privacy or just a number of different resources that they would have us send you, and that's the extent of it. And like I said, that's why I pointed out the fact earlier that you can go to like a security consultant, a digital security consultant if you wanted to, but that's going to cost big money and may not yield any other results. You know what I mean? So I would just say, if anything, at least if we do this, that everything's been done properly, that everything is passing diagnostic, and at that point, I'm telling you, we wouldn't be able to pursue this further. Like, I mean, after it's been wiped out at the repair center and passes diagnostic, the machine is considered fully operational, fully functional, and yeah, unless you're getting some kind of specific error as a pop-up, not in your logs. Your logs aren't meant, like I said, for your perception. It's meant for if something does go wrong, there's an accurate record of, what happened in the background, like what process failed, what process injected this code into this app. And I mean, it's not meant for people to go through and try to find what they believe to be errors. It's meant for if there is some kind of pop-up error on the screen, or what we call a kernel panic, where the computer would just shut down randomly and restart, and then say, there's a problem with your computer, restart it.
Sorry. Well, what's kernel panic?
A kernel panic is when basically your system tries to reference a file in your library and it can't. Like, it can't find it for whatever reason. The reference file is not available. The reference file is used by another program. It's a very, very uncommon occurrence. But
It's
it would
uncommon?
be like your would just
Sorry, is it
shut
uncommon,
down.
you said? Sorry. Did you say it's uncommon?
Uncommon, yes, ma'am.
Uncommon.
Like, I would say I take like 30 calls a day, usually 25, 30 calls a day.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked here for 7 years, and I bet you I've dealt with kernel panics like 5 times.
Okay,
4
hold
or
on.
5 times.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Oh, did you see kernel panic reference in your logs somewhere?
All the time. I took screens.
Yeah, that's not all kernel panics are bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a generalization. Not all kernel panics are bad, and you will definitely see kernel panics listed in your logs if you look through them. And that's why I'm saying logs are not meant to just be opened up and then asked questions about. They're there in case something actually,
But it's not a
gives you an
log.
error,
It's not
and
a
that way it
log.
can be
It's
amended.
not a log. There it is. It's not a log. It happens all the time. I see folder kernel panics every day. I move it and put it in the trash.
Everybody has this folder, and
Okay.
everybody has files in here.
All right, thank you.
Everybody with a Mac.
Got it. All right, so it's not a problem then.
No, I mean, unless your computer just like shut down out of nowhere, and then you saw like a black screen, the Apple, and it came back up, and then when it came back up on your, like when you logged in, it said your computer restarted because of a problem
Yeah,
or something.
yes, I've already taken screenshots of that, of restarts.
And that was before the wipe?
Before the wipe, well, it's only 2 days old now after the wipe, but it had restarts before. I've already documented it.
Well, I mean, man, but that's the thing, though, is like, even if I were to entertain that further, it would be something that I don't know what programs you had installed on your Mac before it got wiped. I don't know. There's a lot of variables that I wouldn't have I just wouldn't have all the data to make a solid assumption there.
That's fair.
It
That's
would be
fair.
total guesstimate, you know what I mean? But I would say that even still, like, my Mac shuts down sometimes because it'll be like, a week and a half since I've restarted it and my memory got full. I mean, those kinds of things aren't uncommon. They're expected, and usually they happen to prevent some kind of data loss or to prevent some kind of hardware failure. So it's like, kernel panics aren't necessarily a bad thing unless it's like, hey, as soon as I log into my computer, like literally as soon as I type in my password, my computer shuts down, restarts, takes me back to the login. I log in, and then it does the same thing. Shuts down, restarts, takes me back to the log. Like, that would be a kernel panic situation where I'd be like, okay, yeah, there's something going on here. What's going on? That's when we would boot in the safe mode and, all that. Yeah. As far as the whole screen being observed thing, I'm not going to lie. I don't have any inclination to think that there is anything connected to your computer, simply for the fact that there are no profiles installed on the computer. The only thing that I could possibly think of as, like, not for right here, because like you said, this is during the setup. I honestly couldn't tell you why it would show you that there. But it's like, even like in the morning, like, let me put it like that. Like, even in the morning, when I first log on to my work
Okay,
Mac,
no, wait, hold on, hold. If I was to go to the Apple Store and I say to them, put it in safe mode again, and if in safe mode it says your screen is being observed, would that be a problem?
Not necessarily, no.
All right, so you see, everything I come up with, doesn't matter what I come up with, it's not necessarily a problem.
I mean, man, like I said, because you're describing multiple problems that, like I said, aren't actually giving you errors. Like, let me be clear. There are errors that you receive as a user on the computer, and then there are errors that go into your logs. Your errors in your logs are common. Like, those are things that you need not worry about because they're being handled by the computer in the background. Like, processes fail all the time, and then they restart those processes automatically in the background. It does this and this and this. I'm just saying it's not something that you as a consumer should be going into your logs and trying to like pick apart, your interpretation of what the logs are doing because,
That's not what
like
I'm
I said, I
doing.
mean,
No, no. I'm following exactly what the Mac says. It says I'm MDM client, and then I go and search what does MDM client mean. It tells me, and this is just one screenshot, I've already done many. It tells me it's a management system.
have you ever heard the term self-diagnosing?
But hold on, pause. It could be possible, I hear you, but it's you guys who told me, and I have screenshots of it. I documented it. You guys who told me, based on the problems I've shown, it looks like my computer is under a management system. I've documented that. You guys told me that.
Like I said, ma'am, I can't speak to what anybody else has told you because realistically, I know for a fact that people misspeak all the time here, and I hate it. But I mean, it's I got to be in control of what I can control. So I would say, like I said, if you want me to send it in the repair center,
Let's do it.
Definitely would be like the definitive. This is the ultimate wipeout. Reinstall. They run full diagnostics, and yeah, like that's basically all I can do in the situation.
All right, let's do it because what you're telling me, although I have the exact same problem pre-wipe, you're telling me it's not a problem. But
I mean, that's assuming that it was a problem before the wipe. Like in the notes, just to be very clear, I can't tell you what it specifically says from the Apple Store, but it says that you came in and requested that we do this. So it's not something that we suggested.
Okay.
It's something that you requested.
Hold on. Yes, correct. But previous notes said when they looked at it and they put it in safe mode and it says your screen is being observed, they wanted to wipe it right there. But I said, no, I did not save everything on my computer. And he said in the notes, customer refused to wipe the computer. Okay, I did. I did refuse to wipe it. I wanted to save everything that was on my computer. I didn't want it to be raised.
We don't mean refuse in a bad way, though. Like, it's more like, she said no.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Like, that's just the term we use, yeah.
No, that's fine. I'm not saying it's a negative. I did refuse. I'm not saying it's a negative. I did refuse. But then I decided I'm going to go and have them wipe it, as I did on Saturday. So when you say customer volunteered to have it wipe, it's because there was a history, because Apple asked me to wipe it.
Yeah, but like in that situation at the Apple Store, which granted I'm totally speculating. I'm just, trying to relate to this person in that situation, trying to help you at the Apple Store. It would be something where I guarantee if they took it back in the Genius Bar room, the first thing they're going to look for is an MDM profile. If there's no profile installed, that's when they boot to safe mode, see if they can replicate it in safe mode, and your concern must have been that it said your screen is being observed, so they booted in safe mode. And if it still said your screen is being observed, this could have been either somebody that didn't know to check the privacy settings to see if one of your apps was recording the screen or had access to record the screen. I mean, that's like I don't know how many times a day I get a call about somebody saying, my screen is being observed, and then we go into their preferences, and it's like Zoom has access to screen recording, or, you know what I mean, like some app, like WebEx or whatever, Adobe Connect, and it's always explainable. I'll give you this. In this situation, I can't thoroughly explain everything that you're showing me, and I'm not trying to dismiss it by any means, but I'm just telling you, everything that you have shown me is in logs and in files that are not meant to be interpreted by you as the customer. They're there for very specific reasons, and there's just nothing that I would say is like, anything that I would be personally concerned with if this was my computer. I'm a very thorough, secure person. I'm taking just like you. And yeah, I mean, this is just something that even now, another big factor here too is that this is the M1 Mac, which means this is running off the ARM V8 architecture. It's definitely a brand new processor, which means it's running processes that it hasn't been around long enough for the internet to fully document what this process is and what this process means. So a lot of assumptions are thrown around on the internet, especially if you're reading on forums.
Well, here's the thing, and I think you can understand this, right? That it's exactly as you said. I speak to different people and they tell me different things all the time. What's the customer to do? Who do we believe? Which one of the senior advisors do we believe?
Oh, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely,
So
yeah.
that's one.
It's
That's right. That's one. Thank you for saying that. And it's true. And we all know it's true. Yes? Are you there?
oh yeah, no, I thought you were still talking. I'm sorry.
No, no. It's yeah. I no. Listen, I appreciate that you actually said that you guys say different things to different people, right? The second thing is that um
Well, and just to be clear, hold on. And
yeah.
just to be clear, never in like a malicious way or like, I mean, granted, I'm sure people have lied before to get out of certain situations, but it's like they're, even on our end,
Mm,
we're only given so much training, and then a lot of it is open to interpretation from support documents and, other resources that we have available to us. But like, usually if we can't give you a concrete answer, it's something that we can't give you an answer to that because we don't provide that information. It's not, something that
mm-hmm,
we publicly talk about on our support website, or
mm-hmm,
I mean, there's a number of different reasons why certain processes are kept in the dark. And
mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's the same thing on Windows. Like if you went through your logs on Windows, you'd be horrified because you just see all kinds of references to things that are, seen one way, but are actually just a process in the background of Windows. So I mean, legitimately, I could give you a counter argument for everything that you showed me,
Yes.
but all of it
Mm-hmm,
would be pure speculation on my end and your end, respectfully, until you get an actual error while trying to do something. Or like, for example, if you're saying that your Mac was being used overnight based off of data being sent back and forth, like bytes being sent back and forth uh, over an internet connection that wasn't there because you had Wi-Fi turned off, it's like that to me is some kind of misreading from the M1. Like it's not reading the levels correctly or something, because legitimately, if Wi-Fi gets turned off on your Mac, it completely cuts off any network connection. IPv4 and IPv6. They switched over to IPv6. I want to say in like 2018 or 2019. I had to get a new router if I wanted the better speeds that Comcast could offer. I had to get a newer modem and router, blah blah blah, that supported IPv6 because it's a newer protocol. And essentially, yeah, I mean, all of that is explainable. Like all of that could be explained by somebody smarter than I. But I mean, at the same time, I can't transfer you to somebody that would be able to sit here and explain all this to you. It would be like, these are answers you'd have to seek out on your own and through, resources online. And then that comes into question of, well, what can you trust online? Wikipedia is a publicly, provided website. Like people provide data to Wikipedia. So who's to say that they're right? And it's not just, I don't know. Legitimately, this is just a rabbit hole that you've gone down, and I get it. I totally do. But I would say in this situation, if you are just going into your logs and asking questions about why this is happening in your logs, 99 times out of 100, we can't tell you why.
right.
Because either, like, it's just not something that we would provide that deep of an explanation for. Whereas, if you got an error, like an actual message or a pop-up error saying from macOS, like, hey, this couldn't happen because of this, it would give you a reference code, and it would let us look up that reference code and find out specifically what our explanation is of that error and all the data that we've gathered from it. And yeah, like we could provide you better answers in certain situations, if you have an error code.
So
But it's
when you say
like,
reference code, sorry, when you say reference code, you mean what? Hold on.
for example, if you plug in your iPhone to your computer and you tell
You mean here?
iTunes
Sorry,
or
sorry, sorry.
Finder,
Hold on here. Reference code, incident identifier. You mean here?
hold on, let me get back over your computer. What, this right here?
No, no. You said if there's a problem, it'll give you a reference, right? So I'm asking you if this is what this is the reference code for a problem,
Oh,
incident
no, no,
identifier.
no, no, no. This right here is like a specific for whatever incident it was logging. Okay, so like this is like a Dewey Decimal System of computers to kind of reference back to this specific error in this, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like way simpler than that. So
Okay.
for example, if you try to log out of iCloud on your Mac and it gives you an error, it will usually give you a code associated with it. Or if
Okay.
you try to restore your iPhone and it fails to restore,
All
it'll
right.
give you an error code.
Okay.
And basically, we look up that code because, that code's there for a reason, because it's being given to you in a situation where you're actually getting an error. And that's when, it's like further action is needed. Here's the reference code, and that would give you enough information to give us and say, okay, hey, I got this pop-up. It said I can't do this because of this error number. And then we would look up that error number. We'd be able to find out, like, oh, it's some kind of hardware thing with your logic board, or, oh, it's your network card. We need to get that repaired, or,
Well, thank you.
legitimately, that kind of thing would be different.
Got it.
But this,
Thank
once
you for
again,
Okay.
these are all things. Like, I have never went into my console on any of my personal Macs because I know that any of the information in there isn't going to be of use to me because I don't develop, I don't, modify anything about my operating system. I don't
Neither
try
do
to.
I. Neither do I.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
I'm
So
telling
here's a
you.
quick question about this screenshot, right? So you're talking about error, right? So I just have a quick question. So isn't this an error where it says it's an incident, and here's the identifier of the incident. That incident is an error, isn't it?
No, not necessarily. So that's what I'm saying. Like the incident identifier here, all this information that you would find in the screenshot, like if you could scroll down, I know it's a screenshot, but yeah, like basically all the information that was on that page.
Yeah, here's
this is
incident
like
identifier.
In reference.
There.
Yeah, this is in reference to this one incident. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's a way that the computer can differentiate between 1245, 2021, 920, versus this one at 202 or this one at 217. Like you'll notice all these identifiers are different based off of the watch this first part of it and then click on this next one.
Right. So So my thought is they are all error. I thought they're all error messages.
No. They're not. Well, not necessarily error messages. Error messages can pop up in here, but like this is like every single time you hit your keyboard or every time you launch an app, you're going to see things pop up in consoles here. You're just in all messages. Go over here to error and pulse. Here, go to crash reports.
Nothing.
Yeah, no, it's because there aren't any to go off of. You see what I mean? So go back to diagnostic report.
Here it goes. There. These are all errors. All errors. Look, millions of errors.
Oh, yeah. So I basically look at these, though. So com.apple, 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 com.apple. I'm telling you, anything com.apple is like, how do I put this?
It says it's a networking computer.
No. This is a reference file for that process. So I basically, I'm telling you, anything that you are seeing here, if it says com.apple, it's legit. It's not anything bad.
Okay.
I once had a conversation in a team meeting with one of our engineers. It was about 3 years ago, and I was asking the same questions, and basically he assured me that in every version of Mac OS, that, like I'm telling you right now, like people were on Mac OS 11. Last year it was 10.15, and we used to be on a yearly 10.13. Next year, 10.14, 10.15 the year after that. And then we just now switched to Mac OS 11 last year, and then up here in the fall, we're coming out with Mac OS 12. So we've kind of skipped the incremental updates, and we're now on to, Mac OS 11, Mac OS 12, Mac OS 13. Basically, though, every version of Mac OS since, Mac OS 10.6 or 10.5, that's when we made the switch over to Intel. And when we made the switch over to Intel from what they call PowerPC, a lot of these processes change and they're different than what they were before. These subsystems right here and all these reference files are different now, and there's more of them, and they
Fine.
add more every year with new
Okay,
features.
but you see, the thing is, I'm very simple. I'm a very simple person. I am just going by you talking about errors, and I see tons of errors, right? And then I see faults as well. But you mentioned the word error, so I see lots of errors on my Mac. Lots of look, lines and lines. Oh, look, millions. I'm still at the top of the thing. Millions of errors and faults.
I mean, I wouldn't say millions, but I would say legitimately, though, this is any Mac ever. Like, even if you went to, like, your
Error.
mom's
Look, look,
house
look, look.
who only has her email
Error.
logged in, kind of thing.
Error, error. All the errors that you're talking about, that error would be a problem for you. They're errors. It says error.
Man,
Category is error.
man, but you're, like I said, this is not an error in the sense of, oh, man, there's something wrong, I need to get my computer looked at, or, oh, there's somebody connecting to my computer, even though my Wi-Fi's off. These are all errors that I would be able to find in my system as well, or other people would. These are like random errors that are going to, basically, let me put it like this. Your processor in your computer can do billions, if not trillions, of calculations per second.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Like, per second. Like, legitimately, that many calculations are made
Right.
per second running this computer. In that time frame of a second, processing all these different things going on, it's like legitimately things will intersect and collide in the processor and cause these kinds of errors. And then basically the computer's smart enough to say, okay, I couldn't do this process because this other process was running. Go ahead and run this process again so that it doesn't give us an error this time.
Right.
And it
So
will keep
ignore all
doing
of that,
it
right?
until
So that's not a problem. Right here is not a problem.
these are just long. Yeah, no, like these
Okay.
are all totally legit. I mean, you just set up the computer yesterday, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even think you have really anything installed yet. You know what I mean?
No, nothing. Nothing. I'll show you just to make sure. Look, this is what I have. Nothing.
Well, and that's even more of like a peace of mind, I guess, for you, is that like if you had gone, like let's say you got it set up yesterday, and then you added, you know, all your Adobe programs and Google Chrome and, you know, this program and this program, and you just reinstalled like everything that was on your computer before, then you'd be seeing even more errors in here. Okay, like you'd be seeing com.mozilla dot this or
Right.
Google or com.google or com dot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially the fact that we're only seeing Apple errors right here is enough for me to know that this is totally something that we can't interpret. Like the computer is interpreting these errors and fixing these errors in real time,
Mm-hmm.
but they're being logged because, I mean, technically they did happen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now,
Got it.
granted, whenever you set up your computer, like during that first setup assistant, you probably have a screenshot of this too, unless you just skip this one because you didn't see it as relevant. But basically, we ask if you want to share or don't share your your log data and stuff with Apple, because this kind of information right here is how our engineering teams get updates done. It's how
Okay.
they gather
So that's
data
the
from our
one
customers.
thing.
You know what I mean?
That's the one thing I said yes to share with developers.
So you did say share?
Yes.
Okay, so like that, what that means, just in a nutshell, simplest way possible, is that our people are receiving these console errors, okay?
Okay.
And they're meant, all of these errors are meant, like I said, to have an accurate record of when things go wrong, because there are all kinds of background processes. Like I'm telling you, I know it's just like, oh, you turn on your computer and you log in and everything just works, you know what I mean? But I'm so serious.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many hundreds of thousands of moving parts, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So it's like all this data gets collected, and then we check these errors in our systems, and they'll go down and they'll say, oh, live system
No, I get it.
pthread.dilib caused this kind of error with this application or this
All right.
program or this
So-
process.
So something like this would never be concerning to you, where it says clients, current disk management of clients is 10. That wouldn't be concerning to you at all.
No.
Okay. All right. You know what? One last thing I have to ask you is you guys want me to send capture data, but I thank you for being honest that you've been working there for 7 years, but only
Man,
about
it could
four
be
times.
weeks.
Sorry.
It could be weeks before you heard back. And I'm telling you, the longest I've ever waited for a response from engineering was 6 weeks. And I'm telling you right now, when they did respond, it was like they didn't even read my request. Like they were just like, yeah, you're going to have the customer go to this web page and read about this and this, and that's it. Have a good one. And it was like, that took 6 weeks for you to respond to. And that's what all I'm trying to say is that I
Right.
don't see, like if I went through all this with you, because I spent 95 minutes with you, just me right now. You know, me and you have been on the phone for an hour and a half,
Right.
and it's like if I thought that there was like actually here just to make sure of one other thing. I just want to check one other thing. Come down here to find your
Finder.
yeah. And I believe you when you say that you didn't install anything, but just to make sure, come up here to go and say, where's it at? Applications, right there. Okay, click on this button right here.
Hold on.
And there we go. Yeah, no, legit. Like, just one other thing to always keep in mind, okay? Because I promise you I'd be lying if I said that I don't get people that are calling in with privacy concerns or like malware, adware concerns, you know, and a lot of times there's nothing there. But I mean, like whatever they're experiencing can be explained kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just to point out, the only, like have you ever heard the term like, or the phrase like, you know, Macs don't get viruses? Like have you ever heard that?
That's bullshit.
Well, it's not bullshit. It is legitimate, but it's more along the lines of you can't get a virus unless you give it permission to install. So there's a difference there. Like it's possible to install things to your Mac that could cause real problems. But ma'am, I'm so serious. We just had a huge security thing last week. I realistically I didn't even look at the details of it. I probably should have. But they patched it within 13 hours. Like
Wow.
13 hours later, we got a security update that goes out, and it wasn't even in the form of a Mac OS update. It was a supplemental security update that would just happen in the background. So it's like, yeah, within, I'd say 24 hours, the 98% of all Macs that could be affected by that were already patched kind of thing. Like,
And
just crazy
the
how all
sec-
that works. But yeah.
the security was for what? Macs or for iPhones, iPads? For what?
I believe it was everything. Hold on. I'll bring up the article and I'll read it to you real quick.
Thank
Hold
you.
on. Yeah, hold on. And
I'll find it myself. I'll look for it myself too, if you don't mind. If you give me the name of it.
hold on. I got it right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, macOS 11.6 arrived today alongside iOS 14.8 and watchOS 7.6.2. The main changes are two security updates, and along with the update for Big Sur, Apple has also released a security update for Catalina. However, just one flaw fix was needed there. Here are the specifics on the Big Sur security fixes. Notably, Apple says that both flaws may have been actively exploited. Available for macOS Big Sur. Impact. Processing a maliciously crafted PDF file may lead to arbitrary code execution. Apple is aware of a report that this issue may have been actively exploited. So basically what that means is that a security researcher, like you hear the term hacker,
Mm-hmm.
the real hackers are the guys that try to get in through our software and try to find these exploits, like these holes in our security, and they get paid up to $250,000 per exploit. It's called the Apple Bug Bounty Program. You can Google that. Basically, the Bug Bounty Program, meaning, you know, hey, if I find a huge flaw in Apple's newest update, I could get paid. Like, I think one time we paid out like $1.5 million because this guy found like 6 exploits in one go, you know, of one new. So that's what I'm getting at, is that like because of this business that is finding our security flaws, very rarely do these things last longer than, I'd say, 24 to 48 hours. And usually it's like you hear about it so soon on the news or on your Facebook feed, you look into it, you find out it's a reputable source reporting it, and then you just avoid whatever they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, it's like,
To find that article, what would I? To find that article, what would I look for?
Basically, I look for recent macOS security. That's all I typed into Google, just recent macOS security. The top link is our link. It's security updates dash Apple support. They will tell you what every update was, what it was addressing. Sometimes they'll just say minor bug fixes and improvements. That's just basically cleaning up code, like code that was found to be detrimental or problematic. But the next article down is on 9 to 5 Mac, which I'm telling you right now, I go to 9 to 5 Mac
9 to
once
5
a day, if not twice a day.
Okay.
And yeah, Apple releases macOS 11.6 to the public with importance, and that's the link that I can click on to go to that article. Here's another one from April for including a massive security patch for iOS 11 or macOS 11.3.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't know what they were exploiting, but what it was talking about with a malicious PDF that could arbitrarily execute code. That is like if you opened up a PDF file that somebody had, crafted in a way to exploit this vulnerability, you'd open up a PDF file and it would basically be able to install software and like bypass the, I'm guessing potentially bypass the checks and balances that are in place. Like when you install software,
Right.
It's always like, hey, you didn't download this from the App Store. Are you sure you want to install this kind of thing? And you have to explicitly tell it yes and then type in your password to be able to do it, okay? So that's what I mean. Like, there really isn't room for a lot of this stuff, and when it does happen, because this is why updates exist, this is why software will never be perfect, because somebody will always find a way around, you know what I mean, eventually.
Right. So
but when they do, we patch it immediately. So,
right.
I mean,
and the only people who can find it are these hackers.
well, I mean, it's not the only people that can find it, but I mean, this is somebody's job, and I'm not talking about just one guy. I'm talking about probably hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Because it's like, if you're a developer and you have coding knowledge and you know how to look for these exploits and these bugs and try to find, like, and these people don't just find them in code, they then go and they replicate it on their Mac, you know what I mean? Like, they'll go in on this Mac, on this version of the software, and say, okay, I can't do it here, but I can do it on the newest version, so it must be in the new version. I'm submitting it to Apple Bug Bounty, and yeah, I'm serious. They get paid up to $250,000 per exploit, as long as it's like it pans out and they can show us, where it was and how to replicate it and all that. They get paid. So it's like people that used to just use their hacking quote quote skills to, install a virus on your computer or email bomb you. They are now finding more creative ways to actually benefit legally from their knowledge, and yeah, they basically sit around all day and just look for holes in the system, kind of thing.
Right, good to know. Good to know. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. I really do, honestly. Listen, one more thing. I know we're gonna send this Mac to. You're gonna send me a box, but here.
What's your zip code? What's your zip code, real quick, before we start talking?
M4T1C1, I think. Let me double check, okay? Let me double check. 1 second, I'm gonna double check.
No, you're cool. You're cool. Take care.
Yep, I'm correct. M4T1C1.
So that's like Michael, number 4, Tango.
Yes.
Number 1, Charlie, 1.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. And next. Now, hey, if you look at the repair, it might send you in the documentation something about power will not power on. That's not like, that's how I have to set it up, because we technically can't send in. We technically aren't supposed to send in computers to the repair center for just software issues, because they would say, have the customer erase and reinstall. You know what I mean? And if they can't reinstall, there's some other kind of problem, most likely with hardware, send them into the store, have them send them in at that point. But it's like they don't like us to just send them in for software. In this instance, I'm sending it in for software because I want them to do what we talked about. And yeah, so here, hold on. I just don't want you to see that and be like, oh man, why did they think it won't power on? It will totally power on. That's not the issue.
Right.
That's irrelevant. Like, you're not going to see what I tell them is going on and what I want them to do and all that. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, how big's your hard drive?
It's I'll do it right now. But Mac.
And leave that page up, because I'm going to need a couple things.
Or you want me to go back one? Oh, developer is showing up now.
Huh?
No, it's okay. Developer is showing up. Do you want me to go back? It's 245. 245.
And how much RAM does it say you have, or memory?
Let me go back. I have to go back. I have to shut it down. I gotta close that. Where would I find RAM? Overview? RAM, right? And memory 8.
Okay, so 8 gigs, and then what processor do you have?
Where would I find the chip? Apple M1?
Oh, it's the M1, duh. And it says processor speed is the question it wants me to ask. I didn't remember it was an M1. We've got go, and let's see. Oh,
Bless you. Bless you.
And bear with me. I got to type up a small novel for these guys, and yeah, just bear with me. It'll only take me a minute.
Yeah, you do what you got to do.
I want to give them good info. I want to make sure that they know why we're doing it, and all that. So I just want to have all this info. And they can honestly, in certain situations, they can see the attachments that you uploaded to the case too. So that's good that you had to upload all those. So, hey.
Okay.
And okay. Now, go next. Okay. And what is your street address?
It is 8080 Woodlawn, Woodlawn, one word, Avenue East.
And is there like an apartment number, building number, or anything like that?
It's Unit 400.
Unit 400. And that's Toronto.
Correct, Ontario.
And then what is the best email address to reach you on?
SITA.Toronto@gmail.com.
That's what I got. Perfect.
Right.
And hey, when this comes back to you, it will require a signature, okay? So, like,
Okay.
basically, the whole time during the pandemic, FedEx and UPS and DHL, they all stopped taking signatures in person, and they did, like, a verbal signature where, like, if you open the door from the inside of the place it was supposed to be delivered to, they'd ask you for your name, you'd tell them your name, they would sign for you, and then leave the package, like, for contactless delivery kind of thing.
Okay.
I just got an email the other day saying that all the major providers are now going back to signatures in person. So it's like it most likely will require a signature when it comes back. I'm going to send you an empty box to that address, and that won't require a signature. They'll most likely leave that there in like a safe location, you know. But basically, are you usually at home so that you could receive it back and sign for it when it comes
Well,
back, or would somebody?
somebody will sign for it. There's reception. I'll leave a note with them, a message with them to sign
Oh,
for it.
okay, yeah, cool. That's that. As long as you got somebody that can sign for it and
Yes.
hold on to it for you, that's fine.
Yes.
And we got 80 Woodlawn Avenue East, Unit 400. That's Toronto, Ontario. M as in Mary, 4 Tango, 1 Charlie 1.
Yes.
And here we go. We got... Okay. So, yeah, so I got you down for that. I'm going to... Pretty sure you already have this case number, but hold on. 736. Yeah, didn't you give me the one that ended in 2736?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So everything's on that case number. I put some notes on here and whatnot, and that repair is attached to this case number as well. You're going to get an email about it here shortly. And basically, with it being Monday, this late in the day, I would imagine that they'll process the box and ship it out tomorrow. And I would say probably Wednesday afternoon or Thursday, you should have the box.
Okay, no problem.
Have you ever sent in your Mac or anything to
No.
Apple before?
No.
Okay, so check it out, just real quick. It's not hard at all. Don't send in any accessories. Like, keep all of your accessories with you. The only thing that goes in the box is the Mac. Because trust me, some people will be like, oh, well, I'll just send my charger in case they need it. You know, totally innocent. But then when they get to the repair center, they're like, yeah, we got to throw this charger away. And then they throw it away. Like, they literally recycle it. They cannot send it back.
Right.
So, like, yeah, I couldn't tell you why, but I can tell you don't send in any accessories because they will not come back to you, okay?
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no. And honestly, I'm going to send you an email with this information in it, too. I already sent it, actually. It should be there.
Okay, good.
But essentially, don't, like, when you get the box is a really nice box, and it should have like a pull tab along one of the edges that you kind of pull it up, and it rips the seal, and then it unfolds, and you put your Mac in there. You'll see how to put it in there. And basically, there should be like packing tape and stuff in there too to make sure it's all sealed up. And then once you get it all sealed up, okay, the label that comes on that box will peel off, like an underneath. It's like a perforated label on the edges, and it just kind of rips out. And underneath it on the box is the return label. You see what I mean?
Got it.
Now, when you get it all packaged up and whatnot, I'm telling you, do not put your Mac in a drop box somewhere. Like, definitely,
right, okay.
Yeah, take it to the courier. Like, with you being in Canada, honestly, I don't know if it'll be DHL or if it'll be FedEx. One of the two, but basically just make sure that when you get the box and you take off the label that was on the box, and underneath it's the return label, you'll see the courier on that label, like whether it's DHL or FedEx, whatever, and take it to an official drop place for that courier. Watch whoever you hand it to scan the box and get a receipt for it, and just hold on to that receipt until you get your computer back, okay?
Got it.
And also, after you ship it off, like, I would say don't even worry about checking that night, obviously, but I would say, like, the next night or maybe even 2 nights later, start checking your email for updates, okay? Because they're going to send you updates about when they start testing, when they receive it, you know, and then they'll definitely send you an email at the end, and if it says, and I quote, if it says that they could not replicate the issue and they're sending it back, that does not mean that they did not do anything, okay? What that means is that they didn't have any reason to do a hardware repair, which is also a good sign. That means that, like, hey, we've ran thorough diagnostics, we've tried to, replicate these issues, we're not finding anything that's happening that shouldn't be happening. Here we've erased it, we've reinstalled everything on it, and now it's coming back to you like ready to be set up again. You know what I mean? So if you get an email like that, don't fret. You know what I mean? Don't like, oh my gosh, I just sent it my Mac and they didn't even do anything. They're just going to send it back. No, like they definitely are doing what I would want them to do in the situation, which is just completely wipe everything out. And I'm telling you, unless you get some kind of error, or if you have something like pop up that you're like, okay, that is questionable. Don't like. I don't want to sound like crappy or like make it seem like I'm like trying to steer you away from caring about your security, like not anything like that. I just don't want you to go into your logs after this and try to interpret. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, someone smarter than I could absolutely sit here and explain every single one of these instances to you and what it means and why not to worry about it. Because I'm telling you, the computer has really only connected to the internet just to screen share with us and to send these files over, and like if you haven't installed anything yet, it's been completely wiped out, and all of these errors and whatnot are to be expected. Like I just opened up my console on my Mac here, and I'm telling you, I probably have double or 3 times what you have in there.
Right.
But this Mac has been running for a year. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're going to have errors in there. That's totally normal.
Okay.
That's just how it processes everything, in the background.
Well, thank you very much. Can you send me your email so in case I need to get a hold of you, I can email you?
Yeah, no, like, let me be clear. It wouldn't be like my email. It would be like, it's what we call AC support case at apple.com.
That's what I mean.
But basically, I'll send you that email, and all you have to do, it'll say it'll say your Apple case number, and you'll have the case number there, same number as before, but just flag that email, and if for whatever reason you need to get back in contact with me regarding this, just respond to that email. Don't change the subject line, and I will write you back when I'm back in the office, okay?
Fantastic. So you're going to send that to me now?
Yeah. If you want to wait a second, I can wait, make sure you get it. Hold on.
Good stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And I hate it when people are like, I'm going to send you this email, and then you get on the phone with them, and it's like, they didn't send that email.
Yeah. Been there, right? I think we've all been there.
Oh, I would be very surprised if you hadn't. But no, I legitimately, I don't tell people anything I can't back up or I can't, help with. I had a lady a little bit ago who she called in and she was having some really basic issues, but she was like totally about to hyperventilate. And a bunch of files, bunch of customers' pictures disappeared off of her desktop while we were troubleshooting, so she was like freaking out thinking I lost everything, and it was explainable, and we totally found everything. Like we didn't lose one. I would never ever, I don't know. I don't know why people on our end don't give the answer, which is, hey, I don't know, but let me find out. Like some people just, assume things, or they go off and feed into what the customer is suggesting is going on, and then it just makes everything worse. So I'm sorry that if anybody made it seem like this was something to be more concerned about, but like that, I really feel like whoever you talked to at the Apple Store saw the screen as being observed and was like, oh man, there must be something going on, whereas that's not uncommon, and I'm pretty sure it was even in a bug in one of the releases this year in Big Sur. So it's like people would just see it, even though you would go in and check the privacy stuff, and it would nothing would show that it used a camera or screen recording or anything like that. And so it was just a bug that they ironed out. But you're on 11.6, so I mean realistically that doesn't explain that. But at the same time, I still if there's no profiles installed, like I would not be worried about it. I really wouldn't. If there's no profiles installed, it can be resolved. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
All right.
And
So
here, hold on. I'm
okay.
gonna send this. Hold on, I gotta type this up because I have a program that like auto inserts certain templates when I have to send stuff to customers, and it's not working. So hold on a second. And okay, I send it to ceta.toronto@gmail.com.
Correct.
And it'll be from acsupportcase@apple.com.
Okay, there it is.
There you
go. Got it. Thank you so much. Now, just one quick. So, if I need to talk to you, if I didn't receive anything, can I respond to this email? Yes? Okay, phone cut off. All right, this cut off. So I'm going to reply. Alright, so it will not give a date created. It will show date modified but not date created. View, sort by date. Oh, sort by date created. It will not show. Let's see. Show view options. Date modified, date created are exactly the same thing. All of them are exactly the same thing. January the 1st, 2020, and unboxing was at 2021. And wipe was 2021. And so she goes. So, Stalker disconnected me from the phone. And I'm gonna go here. Documented all the screenshots. Austin. Hello?
Hey, there she is.
Hey. Yes, we got
Hey,
disconnected. My phone just disconnected. That's it. It just stopped.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, mine did too, and I was like, really? Right as she's talking about if she needed to call me back, you know? So yeah, I didn't want you to think I hung up on you or something. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I am so glad that you called me back. I so appreciate it because sometimes people don't call back, and it becomes a in case in the event there's something really important to talk about. You know what? We're disconnected. But thank you. No, the only last thing is, you know what? It doesn't matter. I was just gonna ask you about something else, but it's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to the box. That should solve everything, right?
Hey, I'm telling you
That's it.
right now, send it in, and I would be very surprised if you had any further issues on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you so much. Listen, you've provided great help, and I think most importantly, and I was surprised. It's not something I knew because you guys are always everybody's talking about send it to engineering. But when I heard that they've only really responded about 4 times to you, why send it? Why insist on sending stuff to engineering?
I'm telling you, I only in situations where it's like a real like head scratcher would I do that. And I'm telling you right now, this is not one of them. Like this is definitely. I'm not underselling it by any means. Trust me. I promise you, I'm not. I'm
Mm-hmm.
taking it very seriously. But it's more along the lines of like, oh, I just got your email.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but basically, I just like I can really see them saying, okay, we'll have her send it in, and we'll wipe it out, and then we'll because if there's no profile to look for,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to have anything to look at in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
No programs have been installed on the computer right now, so
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to look through on that regard. It's going to be all Apple-related errors. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it just wouldn't help to do it at this point. Like if they were going to capture data, we would have wanted to do it before the first erase. You see what I mean?
Right. Right. No worries, we're all good. Thank you so. Listen, honestly, you've provided so much more information to me than I thought would be possible. So for that, I say thank you.
Hey, no problem. You definitely have a great rest of your night, Cena, and thank you for calling up. Okay, you have a good one.
You as well, Austin. Take care, eh?
Hey, you too. You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okie dokie. So here we go. Only 3 minutes. I thought you were at 4 minutes before. Anyways, 3 minutes. But I was talking to Apple for a long time, more than 2 hours, and yeah. And this says 2 hours, 35 minutes and 11 minutes, and 3 minutes for other. And this says 2 hours, 23 minutes. So yeah. Woohoo! Okie dokie. And now I'm gonna quit QuickTime.